It's the Friday Cocktail, presented by Anna Glowinsky.
I'm delighted to be joined by my next guest because she's got a very inspirational personal backstory, but she's also talking about some hard-hitting stuff, some stuff that I'm actually quite shocked is still prevalent and needs to be looked at in today's society. Jojo France, hello, thank you for joining us. How are you doing?
Hello, Anna. Thank you very much for having me.
So just tell us a little bit about who you are as a personal trainer, what part of your life is that? A big one, I imagine.
Yeah, I've been a personal trainer now for over 35 years. Oh, my goodness. I'm based in Soto Grande. I deal with community fitness. Anyone that wants to get fit, whether you're a child, whether you're a person, an OAP person, in recovery, injured, whatever your needs, that's the kind of trainer that I am.
Fantastic. So quite a kindly personal trainer. You're not one that's like, get down, give me 10, give me one more.
I think it depends who you speak to. I think during the month of December when we're doing our challenges, I'm that person. But in general, I'm quite I'm lying. I am that person, but that person doesn't exist for every person. So I try and tailor-make my attitude more to fit the client.
Yeah.
But I'm still that person occasionally.
And why are you so interested in personal training? I get the impression it's not just a job for you.
No, I mean, I was a dancer, and I went back to university when I realised you can dance forever. And sports science really interested me. I like to know how the body works, and then I like to know how it fails, and then how can I make it work better again. So that's my personal goal. That is what I love. And when I got into weight training, and I realised the development in every age category, so even a 75-year-old man who had a stroke can develop muscle and be stronger, it became almost an addiction. I'm going to say almost an addiction, because I'm either in the gym training, I'm learning about training, I'm training someone, or I'm planning my next workout. It seems that my whole day, pretty much 12 hours a day, 5 days a week, is tied up with being in the gym. But I love it. And I do mean I love it.
And it's important as well. I mean, what you just said there about your 75-year-old doing weight training, because there's more and more research coming out about how important impact training is on bones as they're becoming older.
Absolutely. I mean, my background, I was a dancer, and I was actually given prescription weight training and classes to prevent my back surgery, because my back was, I did a lot of back bends and gymnastics, which was great. But once I got to 26, I realized actually it wasn't very good at all. So when I went back to uni, I was given these lessons, and I suddenly realized that I was missing something. I thought that being fit meant running loads or doing loads of stretching, but actually it doesn't. It actually means growing muscle. And the muscles are like the tires on your car. You can replace them. When the tire wears thin, you just need to eat more protein, train harder, get the muscles moving again. And, they are the glue of our body. They hold us together. So all of this stuff that I used to teach, I'm talking like 20 years ago, I've turned on its head. And now I'm hoping that I teach longevity. I'm hoping to teach people's bodies a way of lasting much longer without the need for drugs and replacements like hips and knees. And I was actually told 3 weeks ago I needed a thumb replacement.
What?
Yeah, I've got arthritis in my thumb. It's been there for a long time. It's 3 breaks that didn't heal properly. And this old doctor said, yeah, we'll just give you a new thumb. I was absolutely shocked, because in the world that we live in today, it's much easier to give someone a new body part than tell them to go home, work on your strength, work on your muscle. And a lot of these things can improve very naturally, very organically, but you need to work at them. And sometimes people think a quick fix is the answer. And most often it's not.
For you personally then, with this specific thumb issue, are you going to get a replacement thumb?
Oh, heck, no. I mean, it was really funny when he told me that, we can give you a new thumb. It will take away the pain, but you may not be able to use your thumb. And I left the doctor's surgery, actually the consultant, he was a traumatologist, and I actually shook my head, and I'm thinking, I can't believe he's just encouraged someone who's a strength coach to have a new thumb. But anyway, that's what I do. I come across things like that frequently. And I always say to people, let's go down that route. Let's see what we can do naturally. Can you commit? Are you prepared to do everything that you can, eat properly, and train properly to become a better you. And some people can't. Some people would do anything but eat properly and train properly and still complain that they're not in the way they want to or move the way they want to move, because they don't want to commit to that.
They want an easy solution.
Absolutely, and there isn't. Yeah. In my opinion, nothing is easy in life, eh?
Do you know something that I learnt on the radio a few weeks ago is that some people who never grew up doing exercise don't get that endorphin rush from doing exercise for about 6 months or 9 months, a really long time.
Yeah.
So I imagine that you do a workout and you finish and you're on cloud 9, you feel amazing. And I love doing sport and I love that buzz that I get afterwards. But people who have never done sport don't just suddenly, go and do a park run and feel amazing. They actually feel really crappy.
Ill. Yeah, some people are sick. Yeah. Some people are sick when they get their heart rate. When their heart rate rises for the first time, maybe past their normal rate. And I work very closely with heart rate monitors, especially with new clients. And they're taking the heart rate zone maybe to this 70%, where previously they live in that 50 to 60, and they feel sick. And they have to sit down, and some are feeling really dizzy. And when you say to them, in a month's time, this is going to be a feeling that you will love, but right now it's alien. And we have to train the nervous system. Lifting weights is not just about muscular, it's training the brain not to be frightened. So we have to keep pushing little bit by little bit so that the body can accept and tolerate what you're doing. And those initial sensations of feeling not very well are your nervous system not being able to cope.
Wow.
So with time, and time is normally about 4 to 6 weeks, people become in their happy place.
Yeah.
And they stop their Prozac, they stop their sleeping pills. They don't need it. You go to the gym and you have a great workout, you go home, you go to bed, and you really do sleep because you're so exhausted. But it's good. It's that feeling that you wake up. I wake up in the morning, and if I'm not sore, if I'm not touching my body part thinking, that's not hurting me, I do actually question, am I awake? Am I alive? When I step out of bed, I suddenly think, I am. Not everyone wants to go to that place. That's my happy place.
Yeah.
But I do believe a happy place for a lot of people is not taking medicine, is not needing physiotherapy, is not waking up every morning in chronic pain. And exercise can fix a lot of things.
Yeah. I guess for some people it just takes a lot of extra willpower to be able to get past that first hurdle, and then once they're there, then all the benefits pay off. But anyway, we're going off on a tangent. It's so fascinating, but it's not really what we're here to talk about. You're very embedded in the community, I would say, and it's led you to doing some fundraising work.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about how you first got into it?
Yeah, so 11 years ago, I was made aware that San Roque had 2 orphanages, and there were around about 80 children, 40 and 50 split, and they were struggling. They needed a new freezer. So I decided to take my son, my husband, down to the orphanage, and I was absolutely shocked. It was immaculately clean, there was food available, but they had nothing. I think about my own son, completely spoilt at this age. He was 10, and these children had very little. So I came away from there, and I spoke to Gary at St. George's Charity, and I said, look, Gary, I want to do something. I don't just want to piggyback someone else's charity. I want to do a fundraiser of my own. I want to make a difference. So Feed a Child was launched, and Gary identified through Emmaus Social Services children that are perhaps fed through our social kitchens or are on a social security list as being underprivileged, I think is a kind word. And that means that they don't eat enough food.
It's
basically
a shock, isn't it?
Yeah, this isn't, we hear about these places like Syria and Africa where the children are hungry. We almost are blind to that. It's so far away we don't think about it, but these are children on our doorsteps.
Yeah.
And, this year we've identified 92 children that are fed via soup kitchens. And
now, because we've got listeners all over Spain, so we're talking about a small region in southern Spain of a population of, I don't know, maybe 20, 30,000. It's not huge, the Manilva area.
No, it's not, no. And these children, their parents already pick up an evening meal by a supported kitchen called Emmaus. So Emmaus, through the community, we raise funds. Social service gives us some funds too, and we give them an evening meal. But in that evening meal, and there may be a family of 4, there is just a meal for a family of 4. There are no extras. So the next morning when these children wake up to go to school, there isn't breakfast cereal in the cupboard or bread. There's nothing. These families are really living on the food poverty line. And I was so shocked that this is happening. And I'm still shocked. And I've been doing this for nearly 11 years. And there's not a year go by that I think, how can we have him fix this? And I realised that society is all or nothing. We're so wasteful as a society. I am too. We all are. This is not a criticism of anyone. It's just a criticism. There are so many people that are hungry. It just seems the balance isn't quite right.
Yeah.
So with the funds that we raise, which is €20 a month, so to put that into perspective, we give them 5 breakfasts or brunch a week. So they get a bread roll, ham, cheese, fruit juice, a biscuit, and a piece of fruit. And we do that for €1 a day. And you can't do it. I'm a mum myself. I've tried. You cannot do it. But collectively, because we have support from the community itself, we do this. And we do it every year. And every year we have more children to feed.
This is what's so shocking as well. You need more people to feed. Because you started this 11 years ago, wanting to help. You're clearly helping, but what's that like, not actually seeing the situation getting fixed long term? If anything, it's getting worse.
Well, we know that the way out of food poverty is education. So you need to educate these children. And when they're hungry, they don't go to school. Mm-hmm. So unless we stop the escalation of this, we find ourselves in a situation that we can't fix. So our long-term plan is never to keep people on social services list. Is to move them on. So part of the funding that we raise through the St George's is to educate, to feed these children so they stay in school. For those that are on the brink of dropping out, give them further education or give them the means to pass their driving test to become a HGV truck driver or to become someone who can work in the service industry. Educate them, get them into employment, because that's the only true way of getting them out of the food poverty risk.
Yeah.
And to think that these children, I was talking to Gary before Christmas and I said, how many children do we have on the list as of today? This was as of today in October. And he said 92. And I'm thinking he meant from 92 all over. This was 92 in Manilva. So this isn't even Sabinius or Toro Guerriero or Guerriero.
Wow.
This is incredible.
So I think the population is about 12,000 of that. So
it increases dramatically during the summer months, but the resources into the council doesn't increase massively. So there is a situation that's ongoing that's political, which is outside of anything that I can control. But we made a decision this year. We said, you know what, last year we raised €22,000. We fed every child that we needed to feed last year. And I've got some crazy friends. I really have. People think I'm crazy, but, I do quite sensible crazy things. My girlfriend swam 5.5 kilometres in the sea in cold weather. Wow. My other friend is cycling 250 kilometres tomorrow. That's from Gibraltar to Sierra Nevada. That's
pretty far.
That's pretty far. And my other friend, girl, for his 50th birthday, rather than take gifts, he decided to run 53 kilometres. So these are people who are doing crazy sports for Feed a Child. And our plan is that some of these kids live day by day, every day, hungry, which is probably one of the worst states you can feel. I can't concentrate when I've missed my 11s. And these guys literally go all day to their evening meal. So we decided collectively as a community, and this is mainly my clients and people I've dragged in, how about you suffer for one day? Just one day. Do something that makes you suffer and see how it feels. So 10 years ago, our challenges started. And every year we just get more and more people to do more and more crazy challenges, get sponsorship, get awareness, raise funds. And I have to say, I must slip this in today because I am so proud of the community that I live in. I'm an expat. I wasn't born here. I'm very privileged to call it my home. But the community I live in, I've raised €32,000.
Well done.
These are just people. These are normal people that have jobs and have children. We do fundraisers pretty much every day during December. Like today, the kids have been selling paintings that they've painted. So they've been selling them for €10. I've had children give me their pocket money. I had a little girl today. I see her every morning waiting for the bus for school. And she gets €2.10 a week for sweets. I don't know how she gets €2.10, but she came up to me and she calls me Yo-Yo. and she gave me a €2.10. And she said, I'm going to go without my sweets this week, and I would like you to take my pocket money.
Wow.
You know, this is something I do every day, and I get so emotional at how kind people are. And we talk about kindness in the world. There are some really kind people. I mean, people that do things because it makes a difference. I'm crying now. I mean, why am I crying?
Me too.
Yeah, why am I crying? It's the last Friday before Christmas. But, you know, I want to do things that make people feel better. And feeding them is something I can do. Making fitness something accessible to everyone is something else that I do. I take it to the community. I do free classes. You know what? You can't afford me. Fine. Come and join me in a group session. Get those endorphins growing. Because when they grow, you can do other things. And you'll feel better. And then I'll feel better. And then I'll stop crying.
Well, I mean, you're doing an amazing job. Not just raising the money and not just actually, you know, bettering the community, but actually inspiring people. I hope that people who've been listening to this, even if they're in the north of Spain, so perhaps they're not even connected to this particular campaign, but think, what's going on in my community? You know,
Imagine.
Feed a Child needs to be happening in every single town in Spain. So even if you're not going to support this campaign, maybe next year you could start thinking of starting something like that in your town.
Well, if anyone wants to chat about what I do, if anyone wants to consider what I'm doing where they are, you know, give them my email address. I have no problem. I will talk about this all day. It's like my second passion. By the time I get to Boxing Day, I hang up my Christmas stockings. I wear a Christmas jumper every year. Boxing Day, that's it. That's the last one. I'm done. But my husband says to me, this is my second passion. And it really is. So if there's anyone out there who wants to do something in their community, find out what we're doing, because it brings you together. We have a Christmas charity pub quiz, and this year we had 135 people there, sat outside a pub, doing a really rubbish pub quiz because I'm the compere. I get the answers wrong, but you know, it doesn't matter, because I got given €10,000 worth of gifts to auction off. Wow. This is people in the community that have something that I can't pay for, that someone on the end can pay for but can't pay all of it. Every single penny that we raise goes towards feeding children. So I'm known as a gobby one, and as we get closer to Christmas, I got called the gobby elf this year, which I'll take that, that's no problem. So, you know, if you've got a bit of cheek about you and you want to make a difference, contact me and we can share ideas and definitely grow this across our communities.
Yes, but so inspiring, Jojo. It's a word that gets thrown about all the time, but I genuinely mean it. So those contact details, let's end on that note. If people would either like to find out more how they could do something in their community or donate to Feed a Child.
Absolutely.
How should they get in touch?
Well, if I give you my details, Anna, and they can contact the radio station, and they can email you, and if you can just give them my details, I have no problem.
Fantastic. So if anyone would like to speak to Jojo or to support Feed a Child, you can get in touch at Talk Radio Europe. WhatsApp +34 645 99 67 95, or you can email studio@tre.radio. Jojo, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you, Anna, and Merry Christmas, everyone.